Hmm? Ah! Oh.
You need a gun to go talk to your mother, Dan. You don't know my mother, Jack. You ready to tell me why she was wrong? Why we don't belong here? In about 4 hours, the Dharma folks at the Swan Work site, they're gonna drill into the ground and accidentally tap into a massive pocket of energy. The result of the release of this energy would be catastrophic. So, in order to contain it, they're gonna have to cement the entire area in like Chernobyl. And this containment, the place they built over it, I believe you called it the hatch. The Swan Hatch? Because of this one accident, these people are going to spend the next 20 years keeping that energy at bay by pressing a button. A button that your friend Desmond will one day fail to push. And that will cause your plane, Oceanic 815, to crash on this island. And because your plane crashed, a freighter will be sent to this island, a freighter I was on and Charlotte was on and so forth. This entire chain of events, it's gonna start happening this afternoon. But we can change that. I've studied relativistic physics my entire life. One thing emerged over and over. Can't change the past. Can't do it. Whatever happened, happened, right? But then, I finally realized I'd been spending so much time focused on the constants, I forgot about the variables. Do you know what the variables in these equations are, Jack?
No.
Us. We're the variables. People. We think, we reason, we make choices, we have free will. We can change our destiny. I think I can negate that energy under the swan. I think I can destroy it. If I can, then that hatch will never be built, and your plane will land just like it's supposed to in Los Angeles.
And just how exactly do you plan on destroying this energy?
I'm gonna detonate a hydrogen bomb.
Welcome to another episode of the Revisited Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Kristin. This week on Lost Revisited, on the Lost Revisited podcast, we are covering Season 5, Episode 14, The Variable. Nailed it.
You're such a jerk.
Nailed it.
And I just love how you finished it. You nailed it.
I did. I nailed it. That was my best introduction so far.
All because because last week I said you forgot to say Lost.
It is actually because I have it all written down exactly how I should say it, but I always forget to put in Lost. And then you say later, okay, but we're covering the show Lost, Kristin. I'm like, okay. And we've changed the podcast name, so I never remember that. You know, there's a lot to remember. It's really hard.
There's a lot to remember. It's really hard.
Words.
Nailed it.
How are you?
I'm good. Weird question considering we've already been talking for like a half hour, but still.
I know, but I'm still going to ask you, how are you?
No, I'm good. Had some cool stuff yesterday. We delayed recording for a day because I had an opportunity to meet Chef Robert Irvine yesterday, which was really cool. Incredibly nice guy. And then I spent a little bit of time in Lancaster, PA while I was out there.
With the Amish.
They're out there.
Yeah, I've seen them out there.
They're definitely out there. And once you're getting in the area, because you always have to go around their buggies.
And then they look at you like you're from Mars.
Right.
and we're just like, we're in 2023. You're not. So I don't know what to tell you.
Here comes one of those tourists in those newfangled automobiles. I was going to say apologies to anybody who might be Amish, but if you are, you're not listening. So
they're talking into a rectangle. It's a very good rectangle.
There are Amish that do use power and technology and things like that. They're not, the same orthodox as the strictest of them. But in Lancaster, it is pretty. They're pretty straightforward Orthodox Amish, where it's horse and buggy, no electricity,
bonnets.
Yeah, bonnets. It's very flat, toned colors. But you know what? Like it's more power to them, and some of them might be listening right now because they're on Rumspringa. So who knows?
Rumspringa. Yeah, I mean, look, did you ever used to get like Amish friendship bread? You ever hear of Amish friendship bread?
I don't know if I've ever had Amish friendship bread. I have definitely eaten Amish farm to table food.
So no, this is totally different. This is our Amish friendship bread is like you get like this little starter, right? And so then you have directions, and it always comes with the same sheet of paper, and you add to the starter, and then you divide it up into like 6 pieces, and you make bread with part of the starter that you've put to the side, and then you give out the rest of them with the same amount of directions. It's like a chain letter for baking, and you just keep sending it out and out and out and out and out. And the recipe's really, really good. I used to do friendship bread all the time. I used to always have the starter with me because I loved it so much. And then I didn't have it anymore. And now I don't know. I don't even know like where you would go and try and get it. Cause it's like a baking chain letter. Like, how do you do that?
I'm sure you could probably Google it.
I'm sure I could go on Reddit and get some, Redditors janky Amish friendship bread, but
why does
I don't trust the internet people.
Well, why does it have to be Amish friendship bread? Why can't it be podcaster friendship bread?
Because Amish friendship bread is delicious. And I've never heard of podcast friendship bread.
It's basically the same thing, except you give it to podcasters, not Amish.
Well, if anybody's listening and they have Amish friendship bread, please let me know. I want to know.
If you're listening on that newfangled rectangular box Kristin mentioned earlier.
But hey, let's talk about Lost.
Well, so real quick, while we're on the topic of friendship bread,
okay.
I tried a little bit of I know we're already not talking about Lost, but it's okay. I attempted something on today's Sunday, so Friday. I attempted the soda bread.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Instead of using eggs and oil, you just use carbonated soda.
Yeah.
I bought a spiced cake mix and I used ginger ale. And with the exception of the fact that I totally forgot to grease my pan, so the cake did not come out as a whole, it tasted incredibly delicious.
Yeah.
It was soft. I know people hate the word moist, but it was moist. It was soft. It was really tasty. So I ended up buying another box yesterday. I just got to get another can of ginger ale. I'm going to try it again.
Oh, good.
Except this time greasing the pan.
I have a really good recipe for Irish soda bread if you ever want to try it.
Is it similar where you just use soda instead of everything
use baking
else?
Soda? You definitely use baking soda, but it's you use buttermilk and baking soda, and the combination between those two ingredients
the same kind of
creates the leavening agent.
Yeah.
But it's really good. That used to be during the pandemic. That was if Dave and I had too much to drink, I would make a loaf like 9
soda
o'clock
bread.
at night. It's why I gained my quarantine 20.
But yeah, I'm gonna. I bought on Friday, like I bought all that stuff, and I bought a tub of icing, and then I realized it's like, wait, yeah, I'm like, you know what? Like, I probably will not even ice this cake. I'm just gonna slice it, and I'm gonna serve it with a little scoop of vanilla bean ice cream, and boom, like that's my tasty dessert.
I would just eat the cake.
Well, that's what I did. That's what I did with the last one because it didn't
There
come
you
out as
go.
a whole. It was just in pieces. I was like,
You
oh,
just
well,
have to-
I'll just, yeah.
Just bring the cake pan over to the couch. Everything's fine.
I didn't do that, but I would not put it past me.
I've been eating a bunny cake since Easter that I finally threw out this morning. I was like, okay, we're done.
The hell is a bunny cake?
Well, we make a bunny cake every Easter, and it's cute. You know, it's shaped like a bunny. You take like two 9-inch.
It's just a cake
pecans.
shaped like a bunny.
No, but like we make a 3D cake out of it, right? So you take you like cut it all up so that it looks like it's a bunny in like a coconut field of grass.
So, like I
I'll
said,
send you
just
a picture.
So
It's
just a cake shaped like a bunny.
Yes, but we make carrot cake because
Well, that's delicious.
bunnies are full of carrots.
Are they?
I don't know. Bugs Bunny really likes carrots, so you want to talk about Lost?
Yeah, now I do. So, in case you don't know already, this is a spoiler-full podcast, so we will be talking about everything that has happened before and after this episode. And I want to make mention, too, real quick, about the YouTube page. If you go to our website, revisitedpod.com, and click on the videos tab, there are video versions of all of these podcasts, and they're actually getting some good views lately.
Oh,
Which is great. Like, people are actually, I don't know if they're finding them on YouTube because the videos on the website are just direct from YouTube, but they're posted on the website. But you know, when I post them to YouTube, like I'm putting tags in them and everything so people can find them. And I guess people are finding them. They're getting views and they're getting likes, and that's
no.
right.
I look like
no,
a mess every single week.
People are actually watching.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to check them out, revisitedpod.com, just go to the videos tab and you can actually watch the podcast as well, and see us and actually watch us go off the rails before we start talking about Lost. And we talk about how cakes are full of carrots or bunnies or something. I don't know.
Bunnies are full.
Anyway, let's talk about this incredibly heartbreaking, intriguing episode. Like, there's so many words you could use to describe this episode.
Yeah,
that's all about Daniel.
Daniel.
Where do you want to start? Where do we kick it off?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different ways that we can start. I mean, first of all, variable is obviously off of the previous episode not the previous episode in another season that I can't remember, called The Constant.
Mm-hmm.
And The Constant is one of the best episodes of the entire series of Lost, you know, and again, it centers around Daniel and this concept of time and how to connect it and how to, you know, how Desmond and Daniel are each other's constants, which is really funny to me because we do have Desmond in this episode as well in the variable. Granted, it doesn't, you know, really factor into the storyline very much, except for the fact that, you know, it connects Daniel's constant into the episode, but there are too many things that are happening kind of around it. And I think it was mainly, I don't know, maybe you can expand on it or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that interjecting Desmond into the episode was really more for Eloise's story than it was for Daniel's story. What do you think?
I agree with that completely, because with the exception of Eloise visiting Penny at the hospital after Desmond's been shot and he's been taken in and he's recovering, there's really no reason for any of the Desmond story to be part of this episode. It kind of feels out of place almost.
It does and it doesn't, because I mean, it brings Penny in, and we learn that Penny and Daniel are brother and sister. We learn that Widmore is Daniel's father.
This is this is the reveal that something we've already known and we've mentioned.
Right, but this is the reveal for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And we learn that, Eloise, Charles Widmore, Penny, and Daniel, they're all connected. And weirdly, at the same time, Daniel and Desmond are each other's constants. Or Desmond is Daniel's constant because Penny is Desmond's constant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a funny little gnarled tree branch that we kind of get to poke at this week, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. When you look at the fact that we do get the reveal that Charles Widmore is Daniel's father, and we get that scene with Charles and Eloise at the end outside of the hospital after Eloise just got done visiting Penny. Mm-hmm. That does bring a little bit more importance into the fact of this whole element with Penny and Desmond in the hospital, because you're right. When you put two and two together after that reveal, it may not click right away, but it makes you realize, okay, Penny is related to Daniel.
Right.
They are half siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Because Charles is the father of both.
Right.
So, it does add a little bit more credence to that being part of the episode.
You can also see that, like, there's a lot of, I wouldn't even say it's bad blood as much as it's just like there's a lot of hurt and obviously complex history between Eloise and Charles. And it's just in their one conversation outside the hospital that you can really see how much history that they share. I mean, these two actors really portray a lot of unsaid feelings and emotions, which I really appreciated. It really felt like these were two people that have had an entire life together, but they're also still strangers. And I think that's hard to do as actors who probably haven't even spent that much screen time together.
And they do a great job of really making you question what the relationship between these two people are up until that moment at the end, because we know up for this point, we know that Charles and Eloise were on the island together. We've already met them, the younger versions of them. We get the whole scene with Charles going to visit Daniel at watching the news report of the plane being found and revealing that, like, with a smile on his face, that we're old friends, meaning Eloise. And it really makes you question, like, okay, what is the relationship between these two people? And then we get that moment where Charles says, well, he's my son too. And she slaps him.
Yeah, well, she had every right to slap him. Where was he? Oh, yeah, nowhere.
Well, but we also don't know the behind the scenes of that too. Like, it could very easily be she told him not to come anywhere near them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was that Eloise, we spend this entire episode realizing that I think she broke her son. I mean, he was a broken man, and I think it directly applies to his mom. I mean, it's kind of like she always knew maybe she was going to shoot him.
Oh, she always knew
she was going to kill him.
And
she didn't let him enjoy his life.
Well, and that actually is part of my notes, and one of the reasons why I have it so heartbreaking, why I have this episode being so heartbreaking, is because when you get that big reveal at the end that Eloise is the one that kills Daniel, which we've kind of mentioned before, but now we're finally getting that moment. It really does kind of make you reflect on the entire episode, and it's you start to realize, like, that. Like, you see all these moments of maybe Eloise is trying to be a good mother. Charles is trying to be better and help Daniel by giving him a job. And then you finally realize in the end, when he is lying on the ground and he's saying to her, "You always knew," you then realize that that's not the case at all. Daniel has always been the round peg she's been forcing into the square hole.
Mm-hmm.
He is broken because she is forcing him to on that path. Because to them,
she could have prevented it.
Well, she could have prevented it, but I think her and Charles are of the ilk that whatever happened, they're the same way that Daniel is. Whatever happened, happened. There's no changing it. So in order for it to continue to happen, they have to force Daniel on the path to be in that place where Eloise kills him. And it becomes just a circle. They have to keep that circle moving. Therefore, he can't play piano because he has to become a scientist and a mathematician, because if he doesn't, he'll never go to the island. He can't be with his research assistant because he can't be in love with his research assistant because he's only going to get his heart broken when the experiment goes wrong. She becomes comatose and then he goes to the island. Like, all of these puzzle pieces have to be put in place, and she has to make sure all of these pieces fall into place. Otherwise, none of this will happen.
Well, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I totally agree. And to piggyback off of that, there was a deleted. Well, I mean, half of the scene is in there, but the other half of the scene was deleted. So I read the transcript this morning, and they were talking. They were talking about pebbles versus boulders in a river, and so I think what you're talking about is, Eloise spends all this time putting pebbles into the river so that the river keeps on flowing the way that it should, right? And she's trying to prevent a big old boulder from going in and changing the direction of the river altogether. And Daniel actually explains this in, I have it open. Let me see if I can get to it. Daniel actually explains this in a partially deleted scene. Let me just find it real quick because apparently I don't have it. I have it. Like, I have the app open. I just don't have.
Yeah, and I'm interested in this too because I didn't know there was a partially deleted scene in this episode.
Yeah, I get. Where
you do the dives.
Sorry. Yeah, this morning I did a dive.
Was it into a bunny-shaped cake?
No, I told you I threw it away. Okay, here it is. It's deleted from the variable. Kate, Jack, and Daniel walk along a creek through the jungle. Kate sits down on the trunk of a tree. Daniel, we should really keep moving. Kate, well, you could keep moving because I'm thirsty and I need a rest. Daniel sighs and nods his head. Jack tosses a canteen to Kate. Daniel takes a gun out of his bag. Jack, you need a gun to go talk to your mother, Dan? Daniel, you don't know my mother, Jack. Jack, are you ready to tell me why she was wrong? Daniel. And then this is the part that we saw a little bit of in the episode, but not all of it is in there. So it says, I've studied relativistic physics my entire life. Jack, I've spent years just staring at equations. One thing emerged over and over. One simple rule. No matter what, you can't change the past. You can't do it. Whatever happened, happened. In layman's terms, so Daniel tosses a small stone in the creek. The creek keeps washing over any pebble thrown into it. A pebble represents a change, a small change. The creek is time. Okay, now, after Charlotte died, I left the island. I used Dharma facilities in Ann Arbor to recreate my entire life work. For 3 years, I stared at these equations again and again and again. And then I finally realized I've been spending so much time focused on the constants that I forgot about the variables. Do you know what the variables in these equations are, Jack? Jack smiles. No, I don't. Daniel, us, we're the variables, people. We think, we reason, we make choices, we have free will. If we accept that we can't change the past, can't do anything about it, then we don't even bother trying. But if we believe that we can change the past, then we don't use pebbles, Jack. Daniel picks up a big rock. We use boulders. Daniel throws the rock into the creek. See, if you drop a big enough rock into the creek, you create a dam, right? And then that creek changes. Jack, but we're not talking about throwing rocks into a creek, are we? Daniel, that's right, Jack. Kate, what are we talking about exactly? Daniel, a little over a day from now, the Dharma folks over at the Swan worksite, they're going to drill into the ground and accidentally tap into a massive pocket of energy. The result of the release of energy will be catastrophic. So in order to contain it, they're going to have to cement the entire area like Chernobyl. This containment, this place they've built over it, I believe you call it the hatch, because of this one accident, these people are going to spend the next 20 years keeping that energy at bay by pressing a button, blah, 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 blah. We know the rest.
Mhm.
Anyways, I like the pebbles in the boulders analogy or metaphor only because it really says, like, if you throw the pebbles in, time doesn't change, the path of somebody's life doesn't change. You just are trying to just make it continue, try to go continually into that same direction. But if you throw a big enough item in there, like a big boulder, the river is forever changed. The river goes off into two different directions. So I don't know. I just think that, while Eloise is sitting here trying to throw all these pebbles to make everything go the way that it's supposed to go, she could have thrown in a big boulder and just said, hey, you know what? You need to focus on your music if that's what you love, and then see what happens there and see if whatever happens, or if maybe she could change things.
Well, but I mean, one of the other things you have to question in this too, and because when you look at everything, like I said, when you see how the episode ends and then you kind of go back and you reflect on everything and you realize, okay, she was forcing Daniel down this path, always knowing what the ultimate outcome was going to be. Well, that kind of then definitely villainizes Eloise and Charles because they knew full well and didn't change anything about it. But you're right. She could have at some point grown a conscience, thrown a boulder in to change everything. But then thinking about that even further and kind of diving a little bit more deeper into that is, well, okay, is it a selfish act of them sacrificing Daniel for the lifestyle that they have now?
Do you think that that's why they sacrificed him?
Well, look at, I mean, if Eloise threw a boulder into the river,
yeah,
told Daniel to focus more on his music, never became a mathematician, never went to the island, she never meets him to shoot him. Well, now everything changes.
Right.
He's not there to prevent the incident, which is what why he's there now to try and do, which we're going to find out doesn't really change anyway.
No, it can't be prevented.
The incident still happens. So,
right.
Even with everything that he does with the bomb, with the hydrogen bomb and everything, different things happen, but you only come to realize by the end of this season that Daniel was still correct. Whatever happens, because the incident still happens. So who's not to say that him going to Eloise, being killed, getting the hydrogen bomb, and everything that happens on the incident wasn't already what was supposed to happen to begin with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he really doesn't change anything. So the sacrifice is really, Daniel's sacrifice is really for naught.
So maybe what Eloise is trying to do is she's trying to make it so that his sacrifice means something.
Maybe. I mean, the other thing I question at this point too is like he says constantly, like, the incident is going to happen in 4 hours. So we have one more episode after this one before we get to the 2-part finale, which is when the incident happens.
Right.
So it is a very close-knit timeline between now and the end of the season. It is literally only 4 hours that's going to happen between now and the end. It's almost in real time.
Yeah.
Between now and the end of the season. So it's, which is going to be interesting to keep an eye on as we progress through the next episodes and such. But the other question I have too is, well, if we know a hydrogen bomb, again, going into spoiler territory, we know this hydrogen bomb is detonated because it's what causes the incident to begin with. What happens to the others? I mean, a hydrogen bomb isn't exactly the smallest radius of explosion. So, I mean, I almost question if maybe the energy that is released maybe contains the hydrogen bomb a little bit. Because I mean, that island is not as big as we think it is. I would almost assume like a hydrogen bomb detonation would take out half that island.
It would obliterate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we know that there are survivors. We know that the others are still there because Eloise and Charles are there
Right.
on the island. So they
Richard
have to get
Alpert
off
is there.
Richard Alpert is there. There are others there. So we know they survive because Eloise gets off the island at some
Right.
point. So, I mean, there are still questions there that are lingering. But what is the motivation for Eloise to continue on in this circle of sacrificing Daniel? I don't know what that is.
I think a lot of times, and this could be human error, this could be scientific error, this could just be a cultural thing or a societal thing, that we get so focused on what we should be doing for some end result that we lose sight of the bigger picture ultimately. Did that sacrifice have to be made? Did Eloise have to sacrifice her son? Probably not. If she knew something was going to happen, if I knew something was going to happen, I would 100% try to change it, especially knowing that the incident still happened. Like, she knows that the incident still happened. So maybe if Daniel didn't die, the incident wouldn't happen. Like, that would be my thought. But she's so hell-bent on making the events play out the way that they should. I don't know what her end game in that was.
Well, I think the only thing I disagree with is I think the incident would have been worse if Daniel didn't happen, because again, we're kind of diving into spoiler territory. We know the energy is released
Yes.
in the incident. It's the hydrogen bomb detonation that stops it. So the incident does happen regardless of whether or not there's a bomb there or not. The incident's going to happen. Maybe thinking about this a little bit more, maybe it's Daniel's sacrifice and knowing that his sacrifice is going to lessen the outcome of the incident. Daniel's sacrifice needs to be made in order for the hydrogen bomb to kind of stop it from being worse than it actually is. Because who's to say that incident wouldn't kill, the incident happening on its own wouldn't kill everybody on that island, including them. So in order for them to save their own lives and the lives of everyone else, a sacrifice needed to be made, and that sacrifice was Daniel. Does that make a little more sense?
It does a little bit. Yeah. And maybe he saved Charlotte before it happened as well. Maybe he had a part in saving Charlotte, which he would have died for.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
there are probably listeners or viewers kind of like pulling out their hair right now.
Why?
I don't know, because maybe they have a better, clear vision as to what's happening that we just don't
I invite anybody's feedback.
I do too. If you see this differently, and it's a way that we don't see, please tell us. I appreciate the feedback.
I'm sure that I'm missing something here, but as far as, I mean, the cool part about anything that has to do with time travel is that you can just sit there and you can talk about how time would affect the outcome of events all you want. But, I don't see anybody coming back from the future telling me I'm wrong or right about anything. You know what I mean?
It's like that. It's like that moment. It's like that moment in The Big Bang Theory where Leonard and Sheldon first move in together and they're signing the lease, and there's like, okay, there's the time travel clause. We agree right now that if this is wrong or the world's about to end, we're going to come back to this moment to make sure it doesn't, to tell ourselves about it and make sure it doesn't happen. And they stop and they wait for a couple of seconds and like, all right, moving on.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody from my future has come to visit me to tell me I'm doing something wrong. So
nope. So we're probably pretty insignificant in the realm of time.
Yes, most likely. Yeah. Because nobody has come back to try and kill me to prevent the future. So
you are not John Connor.
I am not John Connor.
There you go. Perfect. So moving away from time travel for a moment. I do want to talk about we get a lot of the old feelings back with our little group of survivors. We have a Jack versus Sawyer moment, and for the
Yeah.
first time in the entire series, I was firmly on Jack's side in the argument.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very interesting talking about that scene too, because like I have that scene in my notes as well. This is a moment where, and thankfully, it didn't lead to what I think first time viewers might have been fearing in a particular moment of when Juliet literally goes against Sawyer.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, don't let this be the fracture of Sawyer and Juliet. And we're like, and then again, maybe only a couple scenes later, we see them packing together. They're holding hands. It's like, okay, like they're good. This was just a brief moment where Sawyer kind of was on the wrong end of things.
Well, Sawyer called Kate Freckles, and that was a clue to Juliet. Okay, hang on. Is he manipulating her? Is he falling back into old habits? And she's just like, no, Kate, you got to go.
Yeah.
This is the code. Go do what you need to do. I'll handle, commando over here.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. Like, looking at everything from both sides and hearing the conversation as to what needs to be done, I was on Jack's side as well. I was like, no, you need to get Daniel. Let Daniel do what he needs to do, because everything has already gone to shit at this point. You have a guy locked in your closet.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to get out of this situation? It's over. And
Yep.
Juliet knows it.
Yep.
But Sawyer is still so desperate to hang on to it because this is the first real life he's ever had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can
Which is why he's so angry.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally see. I mean, he even tells Jack that before. Like, he tells Jack in a moment, like, we had this before you guys showed up.
Yeah, my life was pretty great.
Yeah, this is the first real life Sawyer has ever had.
Right.
I totally get wanting to do every desperate action to hang on to it. But at this point in time, it's done. Like, it's over. There's nothing you can do to salvage this.
I mean, you could go to the wheel, unhinge the wheel, try and get back again.
I mean, the only course of action that they had at this point, if they wanted to keep this alive, was it would have resulted in murder.
Oh, and with Phil.
With Phil. I mean, you would have had to have taken out Phil and made sure nobody ever found him, which not
who
them.
Really likes Phil.
This is also true. He just looks like a weasel.
Every role that man plays, he is always a weasel.
Yeah. He plays.
I hope that he's a really good dude in real life.
They usually are.
Yeah.
I have found that like usually character actors who play the worst people are usually the best people in real life.
You should get him on your podcast. He would be an interesting character, an interesting person.
I don't even know what that actor's name is. I'm going to have to look it up now.
Because he's so good. Like in Criminal Minds, he was only in a couple episodes of Criminal Minds, and of course he was in Lost, and just everywhere that he shows up, I'm like, man, you're going to play some shyster. I just know it.
Patrick Fleischer is the actor's name. I know I've seen him in a ton of other stuff. I mean,
he's been in so much.
Oh my God, yeah. Like I'm looking now. Let's see. Just television. He's been in. Oh God, he's been in CSI, West Wing, ER, Star Trek Enterprise, Mad Men, Cold Case, Pushing Daisies, Lost, Southland, Weeds, Law and Order, Criminal Minds. He's been in Criminal Minds.
That's what I just said.
You just mentioned.
Yeah. He was the guy.
And he plays just like a lot of one-off characters. Suits, that's another show I know him from.
Yeah, he's been in so much stuff. So but he is one of those character actors that he shows up and you're like, oh man, you're going to do something wrong. I just know it.
You're going to be some kind of weasel.
I'd love it if just like for one episode, he was like a good dude and it just threw everybody off.
I'm going to write his name down, and I think I am actually going to attempt to maybe try and get him on the podcast.
I've always been interested in that actor every single time I see him.
So
anyways,
anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, Phil is hogtied and gagged in the closet with video evidence.
Yeah, like
of Jack and Kate and Sawyer.
Again, like it's over at this
Right.
point. There's no
Right.
You cannot explain your way out of this situation.
No, not at all. And then
Phil came to confront me and somehow he accidentally got tied up and fell in the closet. Like there's no explaining your way out of this one.
I think that's a perfectly fine explanation.
Hey, I mean,
he fell down in these ropes. I don't know what happened.
He got tangled up in the ropes and he tumbled into the closet. The door happened to fall behind him. We couldn't find him. We didn't know what happened.
It was the worst game of hide and seek ever.
While all this happened, Juliet and I were welcoming people at the sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
oh, the weird physicist is back and he's in my house. I don't know why.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like when you look at all the people, like in that moment where everybody is in LaFleur's home. If
hard to explain too.
If anybody from Dharma came through the door and saw that, it's like, why are all these people here? Why are you hanging out with people from the motor pool and a janitor? Like,
and the cook. Don't forget about the cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this mad scientist who just got off the sub last night or early this morning.
Right. Juliet, I could just see Juliet going, Mr. Faraday is the missing component of our book club, and we're finally having a meeting again.
It's so funny that you said that.
She ran the others' book club for a really long time.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if she did that again too. They were there for 3 years.
Oh, she probably did. She probably fell right back into old habits.
She's the one person who was probably more comfortable than anybody living there.
She looked very comfortable. Yeah. And she didn't have to be a doctor. She didn't have all that stress. She just got to work on cars and live her life with her boyfriend.
Until Jack and the others showed up, and then it was back to being a doctor, and everything was back to going to hell.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second. So Jack and Kate are trying to get Daniel back so that the plane never crashes. But that means if the plane never crashes, Kate's going to go to jail with the bounty hunter. Jack is going to go back to his life where he's not doing too well and he's newly divorced. There's both of them didn't have the greatest lives before the crash.
Yeah.
And since the crash, Kate especially has completely righted the ship of her life. So I'm not sure why she would be on board with preventing the plane crash from ever happening, because I feel like both of their lives, Kate's life got a lot better.
Kate's life got a lot better after everything. Sawyer's definitely did, but it took time travel to do it.
Well, Sawyer's not one that's advocating to have anything change. He doesn't want Daniel to go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like Daniel would have been, or Kate would have been still a fugitive on the run, who eventually would have gotten caught.
No, she was caught. She was handcuffed with the bounty hunter on the way back from Sydney.
That's right. That's right. That's how
it was over for her.
Yeah, she was going back to jail.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Why would she advocate for all of this stuff to be undone?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that her purpose on the island was to find Claire, and maybe that's what she was trying to do, is get back to present time so she could find Claire. But it stands to reason that Claire's somewhere in the jungle.
Well, maybe that's part of the Kate's reasoning for doing it, is that she's not thinking about herself in this moment. She's thinking about Claire. If all of this stuff is undone, then Claire is never lost on this island. She's at home with Aaron. It is a completely selfless act for Kate.
But she isn't at home with Aaron because she was going to adopt Aaron, and those parents were waiting for her at the airport if the plane never crashed.
Oh, she was going to put Aaron up for adoption. Yeah.
So she would never have had Aaron.
But does Kate know that?
Yeah.
Kate does know that Claire was going to put Aaron up for adoption.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was a huge part of Claire's story in the first season.
No, I know that was a part of the story, but I wasn't aware that Kate knew it.
Remember when she was helping Claire give birth?
Oh, that's right.
Claire was like, I'm not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be with his parents and da 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 da. Like this was a huge part of her character in the first season, first two seasons.
That's right. Yep, that's right. And there is that conversation when she was actually having Aaron. That she was talking to Kate because Kate was the one helping her to give birth to Aaron. So okay.
So I don't know what the motivation for Kate particularly was. I mean, I think Jack would have fucked up his life no matter what, because he managed to make a mess of his life when he got back.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think he probably would have turned to becoming a drunk or an alcoholic either way, because he would have been dealing with the death of his father and divorce, as you mentioned. Sawyer would have eventually gotten himself killed. Somebody would have killed Sawyer because of all the cons he was pulling. He would have either gotten himself killed or locked up.
Mm-hmm.
So Sawyer's life would not have been anything what it was now. But again, like you said, Sawyer's the one not advocating to undo all this because he has a life now. But it's kind of over at this point.
Yeah, I know. And I don't understand why Miles would deny being Pierre Chang's son in that moment, because that's something that he could have gotten. Maybe, I mean, Pierre wanted to believe in that moment that Miles was his son, I think.
I agree with you. I don't think he would have turned to Miles and asked, "Is this true?"
Right.
If there wasn't a part of him that wanted to believe it.
Right. Right. And especially since he was talking about time travel, like that would have been kind of like a big clincher for him to be like, well, yeah, I'm your son. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm your son. My name is Miles, blah, blah, blah.
It wouldn't have been too far-fetched for Pierre Chang to understand it.
And he would have believed him.
If Miles would have agreed. Mm-hmm. But I think Miles has had the idea of whatever happened ingrained in him so deeply that he it was instinct to say, nope, I'm not your son.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
Which is kind of conflicting for Miles at that point, because the one person that ingrained that idea in him is the one that is rambling like a madman in front of him, telling Pierre Chang, like, oh, this is your son.
I just love it that Daniel has nothing to lose in this episode. He's like, yeah, I'm from the future. Blah, 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 blah. Let's move on. Like,
yeah.
That's not the important story here.
But yeah, it's very interesting too. Like, I completely forgot about that whole thing where Daniel tells Pierre Chang that Miles is his son. But I think
such a good clincher.
But I think it does come back around again. I think a little bit
before the end of the season.
I think during the incident, I think there is another conversation between Miles and Pierre.
I hope so.
Where I think it does actually come to, I think Miles does admit that he is Pierre's son. I could be wrong about that, but we'll find out in a couple episodes.
Yeah. Well, probably when the incident starts to happen, Pierre Chang is going to be like, oh, shit, crazy man was right.
Crazy bearded man was right.
Yeah. That beatnik, that 70s beatnik.
It's so funny, too, because like I'm in the process of finishing season 2 of Justified, in which Jeremy Davies,
he's fantastic.
Is part of that season is not Dickie Roberts.
He's Dickie.
Dickie, but not Roberts. I forget the last name of the family.
Yeah.
But Dickie is the character name in Justified. And it's so funny because like I'm watching him and I'm like, he looks no different than he does in Lost.
What a different character.
But yet it is a completely different character.
He nails it.
Yep.
Yeah. He's so good in Justified. Ooh, he's so good in Justified.
Yeah. He looks no different, but he's totally different. And
he's totally rednecked out. So
I'm almost on season 2.
Yay.
So I had to take a break from it during Oscar season, but I'm back to it now. I'm spending all my time between Justified and The Curse of Oak Island, which I'm totally sucked into, which was my recommendation from last episode.
What else do you have? I have some other stuff, but what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it that last week we're doing the same thing this week in that that we did last week, and that we kind of just dove right in, and we didn't and just had a conversation about everything instead of going point by point, which is fine. I mean, it worked out perfectly fine. I love the fact it's definitely foreshadowing that at one point when Daniel's having that conversation with Jack that you mentioned about how everything happens, it's after he takes that bullet graze to the neck and Jack is tending to it, where he reiterates to Jack that like this is our present.
Right.
Anyone can die. And that's exactly what happens.
He foreshadowed that.
He foreshadowed his own death.
Mm-hmm. Well, because remember, he's like, when you met me, did I have a scar on my neck? No.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, which we figured out like a few episodes ago. So he's a little slow on the uptake.
Who is Jack?
No, or Daniel.
Daniel. How is Daniel slow on the uptake?
Because he said this is happening in real time. You didn't know me. Everything I know is, this didn't already happen because it's happening. We already had that discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So we're smarter than Daniel Faraday.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
Sure we are. Why not?
I like that very early on in the conversation with Eloise having the conversation with Daniel when Daniel's sitting at the piano, and Daniel says like, I like music. I want to keep doing music. I can make time for both. And Eloise says like, if only you could make time. And it's like, ooh, well, that's kind of deep considering that's exactly what this whole thing has been about.
Right.
Has been about time.
Well, and Eloise says in the hospital to Penny towards the end of the episode was that she said that for the first time, what was it? For the first time in a long time, or this is the first time ever that I don't know what's going to happen next. So she seems really rattled by what is currently happening with Desmond getting shot and him being in the hospital and Penny being affected. And she comes in and she basically, says, my son is responsible for your husband getting shot, which I still kind of don't understand that, but.
Well, but I mean, looking at the comment that she makes about, I don't know what happens next. If you look at the full circle of everything that, like I mentioned, Daniel being that square peg trying to fit into the circle hole, or the other way around, whatever way I said it before, like enforcing Daniel to be along this is the end of the circle.
Right. Yeah. That just clicked with me.
She doesn't know what happens after this because this is the point where everything has come full circle. Now the future is unknown to her. She has known everything up until this point because of everything that is happening with everybody and the time travel and all of it. This is the point in the timeline she has never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So from this point forward, she has no idea what's going to happen.
Well, and it's so weird, though, that she spent so much time trying to make sure that everything happened for her to eventually kill her son, which is already very weird. But like she spent so much time and energy in math and the big pendulum and all the secrecy and all this other stuff that she never bothered to figure out, like, what happens after this? How could I prevent my son's death? Could I prevent having killed him? I just don't understand why she wouldn't spend all of her money and resources in trying to prevent it instead of trying to make sure that it does happen.
I just realized what she meant by this is her fault. Let's think about who took the picture of Desmond and Penny and kind of started the whole thing. Or it wasn't the picture. Eloise has been in Desmond's past, and it kind of led to. See, now I'm going to have to look it up because I know there is a connection, She kind of, I think she's the one that kind of plants the seed a little bit. Not relationship with Daniel. Eloise worked at a store where Desmond went to buy an engagement ring for Penny during his first time shift.
Right.
After he turned the failsafe key. When Eloise showed him a ring and Desmond told her he would take it, she seemed upset and responded by telling him he would not. After Desmond refused to give the ring back, she explained to Desmond that she knew his name, he would break Penny's heart, and he would not marry Penny. Instead, entering the sailing race to prove Penny's father wrong, and he would go to the island to press the button for 3 years. She's the one that tells him and encourages him, she's the one that plants the idea in his head that he needs to prove Charles wrong by getting in the sailing race, which leads him to be on the island, which leads to him becoming part of this circle.
Interesting. So, I mean, really, you can even say that the last couple of seasons has been this like private family feud, and all of our little characters and survivors have been just like little playing pieces in that game board.
Well, again, I mean, we've mentioned it before, how this whole thing is a big chess piece, is a big chess game. We've mentioned up until this point how like Jack and Kate and Hurley and Sawyer and all these people on the plane were the pawns, but we haven't mentioned any of the other pieces yet. We haven't mentioned the king or the queen. We haven't mentioned the knights or the rooks. Like, these are the higher pieces that are above the pawns, but are still part of the game. And I think we're starting to realize that Charles Widmore and Eloise Hawkins are the king and queen on the chessboard. They're the ones that have the most power and can make the most moves while still being vulnerable to the game, but being above the pawns.
Mm-hmm.
They are
kind of like how but it's kind of like a small mini setup to what we are eventually going to get into in 2 episodes, which is Jacob and the Man in Black.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
they're the players.
Right. Okay. Yes, they are the players of the board. Yep.
Yeah, they're not pieces on the board. They're the players of the game.
Yes.
But Eloise and Charles are still pieces.
Yeah, they're
great. They're just not pawns. Mm-hmm. They're the king and queen on the board. But that leaves the question, though, who were the other king and queen? Because remember, there are 2 sets. Because if the Oceanic 815 survivors are pawns on one side, and the others are pawns on the other, so Ben Linus and everybody else are pawns on the other side, then who are the king and queen of the other side? There has to be another king and queen. I would argue
don't think that Charles and Eloise would be playing against each other.
Okay, that's a good point. You're right. They are on opposite sides of the board. I think if you look at it, they would be on opposite sides of the board.
100%. Because they've never been, other than when they were together on the island, I don't think that they have anything to do with each other anymore.
They were together at a point.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Other than when they were together on the island.
You're right.
But
they're no longer a team.
No. And I mean, like I said earlier in this episode, is that scene that they had outside of the hospital, it was so well done because you could see that there was a lot of history between the two of them. That obviously there is, because we've been following along the story low key for a while. And it's all like coming to a head right now.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this episode alone has brought so much to the forefront of the story now.
Yes.
That we're going to get, again, there's only 4 hours left on the timeline between now and the end of the season. This is not going to slow down for these next couple episodes.
No.
It's pushing forward to the end.
It hardly ever does.
True.
At the end of a season.
Yeah, I think even the last couple seasons, if you look at the timeline of everything, it's all been pretty close knit and relative to real time.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I like it when it's kind of like that,
We're just getting like I love the fact that we're progressing forward and we're getting to the end of what I think is a great season of this show. I know a lot of
Yes.
viewers kind of checked out at this point. I feel like if you're listening to this one, hopefully you already watched it, but like I would argue this is one of the best seasons of this show.
I do like this season.
It's so complicated. It's just I'm kind of stumbling over my words a little bit, but I think
You
there's
know what,
so
though?
much great. There's so many great elements to this season.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, I don't know about you, but I like complicated TV.
I do too. I don't want anything too simplistic. I get bored.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you what, though. I do like the simpler shows for when my brain is tired. You know, like if I'm watching, House of the Dragon, Last of Us, Yellow Jacket, stuff like that. At the end, I'm like, oh, I need like junk food for my brain. And I'll turn on like Top Chef for a couple of hours or Big Bang Theory or something like that. Like that simpler television that just kind of like makes it all nice.
But I like that. But no, but I like that in how you mentioned it. I like that in reality and comedy. I don't like simplistic and drama.
Oh, no. No. Well,
that's when
is
I get
drama
bored.
ever simple? Drama's never simple. So anybody that's trying to make a simple story out of drama, I just don't think that you're going deep enough as a creator of content.
Yeah, you're not doing your creation justice.
Right.
By making it too simple.
Right.
So
not in drama.
No, not in drama at all.
Do you like the fact that Daniel is like telenovela crying for most of this episode?
For most of the episode, I can only think of one time that he's doing it.
You're kidding me? He kept crying. He's crying when he's talking to Charlotte. He's crying when he's looking at the TV. He's crying when he's like, "Mom, if I go, will you be proud of me?" Okay. Like he is just this blubbering idiot throughout his mother broke him. Completely broke him.
Oh, his mother, Eloise, made him completely dependent on her attention.
Yes. It goes to his self-worth. Yeah. It goes to his confidence. It goes to his work. It goes to his emotional connections or lack thereof. I mean, she ruined him.
Yeah.
Also that she could kill him at the end. Like she's a horrible human being.
Oh, well, that's what I said in an earlier point is that when you kind of watch this and you get a perspective of her being like an attentive mother and such, and then you get to the moment where you realize she's the one that kills him.
Yeah.
She's been setting him up on this path just to do that or just for that to happen. And that's when you realize, okay, she's not trying as a mother. She is a villain. She is a horrible person. And Charles is just as bad, which we've already knew that about Charles.
Right.
Because Charles knew all of this was going to happen too.
Yeah, but Charles is Biff Tannen, which naturally makes him a villain anyways. So
that's
there's
what
no
I mean.
surprise
We already
there.
knew Charles was a villain.
Right.
But this episode, it's the final moment where Daniel says, with tears in his eyes, staring at his mother, "You always knew this was going to happen."
Right.
And it's a conflicting moment because half of you is like, she is horrible. This woman is evil. And on the other half, it's heartbreaking that that's the final thing he had in his mind before he died.
At least he came to terms with who his mother really was, I guess. But yeah, I mean,
but to be the final thing,
right,
before you pass on, is realizing how horrible your parent was.
Mm-hmm.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I would agree.
I accept his tears in that moment.
Well, okay, yeah, he's allowed to cry. I agree. He's about to die, but he cried throughout the whole flippin' episode.
Why did he cry?
Can you imagine being this little girl on a swing eating chocolate and this weird man comes up and starts crying on his knees in front of you and you're like, Mommy, there's this really weird man outside. And the fact that he wasn't tracked down because of that, I mean, that's enough to get him killed.
That's the real reason why Charlotte and her parents left the island. They felt there was
creepy dude.
There was a creepy dude on the island. They wanted to take his daughter away from him.
We're out of here. We got to go.
There might be a child molester on this island. We got to go.
Just drops to his knees and starts crying in front of this little girl who has no idea who he is.
Why did he cry during the oceanic plane reveal? He says he doesn't even know. Like, what was the point of that? Why was he crying during that? Because there was a connection? Because he wasn't connected to these people yet. So I don't know what the purpose of him crying during that was.
I don't know. That's a great question. One that I have tried to answer every single time I've watched this show. And I don't think I've ever really come to an acceptable answer in my head.
Like,
because he's weird, man. Because he cries. Yeah. How's that? Because he cries.
Well, I mean, like, I would even take Lapidus crying at that before I would take Daniel crying at that.
Well, yeah, because he was supposed to be on the plane.
Because Daniel would feel, or Lapidus would feel a sense of responsibility because he was the one that was supposed. He would be guilt stricken and felt he could have prevented it.
Right.
Or I should be there too. Like, I could understand Lapidus getting upset, but Lapidus didn't even cry at it. I mean, like, why is Daniel crying at this? Again, if you're a listener and you know, please let us know, because I don't know the answer to that question.
You know, he was very emotionally unstable in his entire life.
That could probably just be it.
Yeah. I mean, he had just had that accident, and maybe he did know something. Maybe there is something that he knew that his memory reset. Maybe he did find something out.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Daniel Faraday is dead in this episode, but I think he still comes back in Flash Sideways.
We see him again next season. Yes.
Yeah. Because with flashbacks, flash forwards, flash sideways, like all of those little, fun lost, plot devices, we can see Charlie until the very end. We can see
we do get
Boone.
Charlie again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
we can have any character come back in any way, and it's explainable, which is great.
I can't wait until we talk about. I know we still got a ways to go. I can't wait to dive into that series finale.
Yeah, I know, but that's in a year at the rate we're going.
It's not a year. It's not a year.
I know. Maybe by the end of the summer.
We'll be there in a couple months.
We'll see.
I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to look over.
So something that's interesting about this episode, and it has nothing to do with the story. It has to do just kind of like with the everyday happenings. Mm-hmm. So this is the 100th episode of the show, which is a big mile marker for any show to get to 100 episodes. The day that this episode came out, it was also coincidentally Obama's 100th day in office. Oh, and they actually, right before the episode started, was Obama's speech about his first 100 days in office. And I don't know if it cut into the show or if it preceded the show, but those two things happened on the same day.
Oh, that's kind of
right
cool.
On top of each other. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Little weird parallels that happen where you're like, ooh, that's spooky, because the whole show's spooky.
I don't know if it's spooky.
No, it's not spooky. But there's a lot of crying.
From Daniel. Just from Daniel. I'm looking at other than the shootout, which we didn't really talk about, but there's really not much to talk about. It's just there's a shootout with them trying to leave Dharmaville. Mm-hmm. I think I kind of covered everything I have in my notes.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right.
Fair enough. I'm done like that. That's all I have for my notes.
Oh, no, I knew what you meant.
See, all done. I actually have notes.
You started writing.
Yeah, when we sat down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Not when we started.
No, I was too into the episode. I had my notepad and everything. And I just watched it dumbfounded. A lot of it was me going, how many times is this guy going to cry?
So I'm looking at the IMDb rating. This episode got an 8.7. So
Yeah.
it's one of the higher episodes too. And I just happened to notice that the finale of the series got a 9. So for all the people that hated it, it got pretty highly rated. But next episode, I'm bitter about the people that hated the finale.
Really weird. I never would have known it.
Next episode, season 5, episode 15. Follow the leader.
Following the leader. Is it a lock episode?
No, because I don't think we have any more Flash. I don't think we have any specific Oceanic 815 specific episodes anymore. I think they're all about
this
other
was
people.
This was the last flashback episode that most episodes are now going to be like at the same, like it was
it's a Richard episode.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more of the flashbacks of the main characters. I think it's now all the other characters.
Yes, and then next season we're going to get a lot of Flash sideways.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is where things get really crazy for your brain.
So, yeah, this episode, Follow the Leader, episode 15, is a Richard flashback followed by the incident part 1 and 2, which we're going to cover together. And that is a Jacob related episode.
Yeah, we're finally
get to meet
Jacob. Going to see Jacob.
He does exist.
About him so much.
Because and there's so much mention of him too that like it really does build the mystery around like, does Jacob actually exist?
Right.
And you're going to find out he indeed does exist.
As does the Man in Black.
Yes, he does. Who is never named. I think he's always
the Man in Black. Yeah. I'm excited. It's good. It's going to be a fun couple of episodes, and we got Des hopefully coming on in a couple of weeks with us as well.
Yeah, we gotta figure out the time to get him to figure out a recording time for all of that works for all of us.
Yes,
to cover the incident. So
I'm into it.
Yeah, me as well. But that does lead us to the feedback part of the episode. Again, if you picked up on different things about all of this and it's something that we didn't pick up on, feel free to leave us feedback and let us know. It could be a verbal slap in the face, like, how did you miss this? And tell us.
And we'll tell you, I don't know, because we're simple.
But if you want to leave us feedback, easiest way to do that, just visit our website, revisitedpod.com, and there you can find links on how to email us, send us in a voicemail, and you can find where to subscribe if you don't already, and the videos tab on the video versions of all the podcasts.
Heck yeah.
But we do have a feedback. We do have a voicemail from our buddy Steve, as we always do all week. So let's listen to that now.
Hello, Ben and Kristin. This is Steve. And I don't know what happened to that last voice message. I don't know why it was only a minute. I don't know. But I'm going to watch episode 13 again before I do the next ones. All right. Now on to episode 14. Okay. Now we get to see Desmond's fate. Love this scene with Daniel, Miles, and Jack where Daniel is just insisting, how did you get back? How did you get back? And Miles, I just carried his luggage, man. Uh-oh. They weren't supposed to come back to the island, according to Daniel. Oh, young Daniel with that, I don't know if that haircut is good or bad. Harsh, Mom. He wants to play the piano. This has got to be killing Sawyer to be reacting instead of, what was it? Oh, okay. This is actually a callback to episode 1 of this season, right? The first time when we saw Daniel. So that had, when we have this scene, okay, now I get it. So these last 4 episodes, if Daniel is right, and he says the incident's going to happen about 6 hours, that means these last 4 episodes are only going to cover 6 hours. Seriously, Sawyer, do you think you'd be able to drive this up if you tried to hijack it? Come on. He's still crazy. He's on a whole new level, man. Are we going to get back to the Desmond storyline anytime soon? I mean, I love that they're showing us what happened right after Daniel saw the plane footage in the news, and now he's meeting Charles Winmore for the first time. But come on, I want to know about Desmond. Oh, Sawyer, don't revert now, calling Daniel Faraday H.G. Wells. And Juliet shows herself to be the pragmatic one, giving Kate and Jack the code to take Daniel to the hostiles. Others, his mother. his mother, who's another. Oh, and that hand holding between Juliet and Sawyer. Oh, I'm getting choked up because this love story is so amazing. I don't know why I never realized it before. Oh, and Daniel with little Charlotte. Oh, I'm not supposed to have chocolate before dinner. Isn't that the last thing she said to him? What? Why am I getting so choked up? Ow. This gunfight at the Dharma OK Corral, great. I don't remember how they get out of this because Brzezinski's just caught Sawyer and Juliet and Hurley and Jen. What's going on with them? You said the variables, not the variable. It's not really a mic drop. Okay, now we're back to the Desmond storyline. It's only going to get more insaner, Jack. Insaner? Is that the right word? Yeah. He got shot. What? And his own mother shot him. Whew. Well, on to episode 15.
Thanks.
I love Steve so much. So much. Steve, I love you so much. I love these voicemails that you send in every week. I look forward to them. I laugh. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Daniel was crying in front of Charlotte.
And he did mention too something that we didn't mention is that whole scene with Daniel down in the area, the work area with Pierre Chang. It is a callback to the very first scene of this season.
Yes, when he was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we don't see Daniel again until this episode.
Right. Right.
So yeah. So that was really interesting. Steve also brought up a good point of Desmond and continuing on with that story. And I don't think we get any more Desmond this season. How Desmond gets back to the island is very weird. It's incredibly weird.
I can't wait because I totally forget. So I'm glad that I have forgotten. I need to remember all.
You need a remember all?
Yeah. I can't figure out what I've forgotten. Harry Potter for those
Weasley.
of you who are. No, that was Neville Longbottom.
Oh, that's right. It was Neville. Sorry. The real chosen one. Neville Longbottom.
That can be debated another day.
So thank you again, Steve, for the voicemail. I already know we're getting one from him next week because he already sent it. So
yay!
We're already there. But again, encourage you guys to leave us feedback for this episode, a previous feedback, or a future episode. Just go to revisitedpod.com and you'll find all the information there.
I'd actually like to make a request that anybody that's listening to this and not watching along, I'd love to know how you're experiencing the podcast without watching along. I know that there are a few people that are doing that. I just want to know what your experience with remembering the show, if this is helpful or just chaos for you.
Now that you bring that up, I'm also very curious about that.
Right? Yeah, I want to know.
I'm incredibly curious about that. I gave a recommendation last week. My Curse of Oak Island television series, which I've been hooked on, and I'm still hooked on. But it's your week, so what have you got for us for a recommendation?
This week I have something just like super simple. I just, for some reason, I've never read the book. I've never been interested in the book. I've never been interested in the story. It looked super boring, but I kept hearing what a fantastic movie it was. And I just can't resist that kind of a carrot ever. And so, Dave and I sat down yesterday. The kids were upstairs, playing video games with their friends or whatever. And I looked at him and I said, let's watch Dune. And he's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's been wanting to watch it for a while. So we turned out all the lights. We watched the movie. We turned it all up. That movie is so good. It is so freaking good. It is visually stunning. The graphics are unbelievable. The story takes a minute to get into because it's like one of those movies where you're just dropped into this world, like dropped in, and you just kind of have to play catch up.
And just to be clear, this is the 2021 version of Dune, not the original.
Right. I watched it because, listen, Oscar Isaac is in it. Jason Momoa is in it. Thanos is in it. Zendaya is in it. Drax is in it. Timothy Chalamet is in it, and I've never seen him in a movie ever. And I don't really like his like red carpet personality. So he was a big turnoff for me for the movie. Turns out he's fantastic. Like the whole movie is so good. And when it was over and we like, you know, our family room we live in a 100-year-old house. So our family room is like, you close the door and you can like really envelop yourself into our room. So we left the room and turned on the lights to the kitchen, and oh my gosh, like I just felt like I like was completely immersed in this world and just jarred right out of it when it was over. So I'm really looking forward to the second movie. I highly recommend it for anybody who, even if you have an inkling of interest in the movie, like I had none, and it was fantastic. So I recommend that this week.
Okay. I'm looking forward to Timothy Chalamet. Speaking of him, I've seen a couple movies
as Willy Wonka.
Yeah, he's playing a young Willy Wonka in Wonka.
I just saw that because I wanted to look up when Dune was going to be, and in his upcoming projects it says Willy Wonka, and I'm like, no, don't redo it again. And then I see a young Willy Wonka. I'm like, hell yeah, we're gonna do this. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a prequel. It's how he gets set up.
Oompa Loompas, yep. And yeah, I'm excited. That should be pretty good. And he's weird enough, I think, that he can pull it off.
And the cast of that movie is great as well. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, Olivia Colman, Keegan-Michael Key, Rowan Atkinson, aka Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Matt Lucas. It's got a good cast. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. So that's what I just watched that last night, actually. So I didn't have a recommendation before yesterday, I guess.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, Mayor of Kingstown, always. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
It's still one that's on on my list. Excuse me. And I know we have a little bit of time now to catch up because obviously with everything that Jeremy Renner went through, it's going to be a little bit of time before he's back to acting and there's going to be a season 3. But thankfully, they never canceled the series because of everything he went through. They're going to keep it going.
You have Jeremy Renner. You will wait for Jeremy Renner if you have Jeremy Renner.
Damn right. Do you know? Yeah. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if our listeners are going to get any idea out of this too. You know, we know somebody who went to school with Jeremy Renner.
Why does that sound familiar? Who?
Jason.
Why does that sound familiar? I think I knew that.
Jason went to high school with Jeremy Renner.
That's so neat.
Because he remembers going to one of their high school reunions and Jeremy Renner showed up.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right?
I'd want to go. I'd want to go just to be in the same room as him. He couldn't go now.
Well, no, I think Jason had said that like it was during one of the reunions. It was right after Hurt Locker. Or right after, like it was early on in his career.
But he wasn't Marvel. Yeah, he wasn't Marvel famous.
He wasn't Marvel famous yet.
Yeah.
But he was still known. He was an
Academy Award actor. Yeah, Academy Award nominee. I think he didn't win for Hurt Locker. But
Jason said he showed up to the reunion. He didn't show up with an entourage or anything. He literally just came and.
No, he's a super plain guy. You can see he's a super plain guy.
Yeah. Watch the Diane Sawyer interview.
I'm going to.
Not just you, but anybody listening. If you're a Jeremy Renner fan and you haven't seen it, check out the Diane Sawyer interview with him. It's so it'll touch your heart. That's all I'll say.
I'll probably watch it at some point today.
Yeah, it's only 45 minutes. It's an easy watch. And Renovations on Disney Plus is pretty great too.
Excuse me, this is not your week.
Sorry. You got another one then to make up for the one I just threw out there?
No, I don't. Go watch Dune.
Next episode, season 5, episode 15, Follow the Leader, which we mentioned is a Richard Alpert episode.
Does that make Richard Peter Pan? Since he doesn't age? Let's stew on that while we watch next week. That'll be our question.
Who would be Hook then in that case? The Man in Black.
The Man in Black.
Thank you as always for listening, for watching, no matter how you just roll it into the end. Thank you for watching, listening, however it is you take in this podcast. Again, visit the website, revisitedpod.com, for links to everything there. But until next time, we'll see you guys further on down that rabbit hole. Take care.
Bye, 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 bye.
We have to go back, Kate. We have to go back!